Hi, welcome to Leap Taken. This is Mika, and here at Leap Taken, I talk about all things witchy, law of attraction, manifesting, esoteric, and everything else in between. So today, I wanted to talk about how to, or more or less, breaking down spell work. Like seriously, just breaking down how spells work. Um, what I used a couple resources and references to share this. These books helped me tremendously. One of them I did a book review, I think over a year ago, and that's this one. I even have bookmarks. This is like a freaking Bible to me, okay? I come back here because it provides structure for how to do this thing called witchcraft. For those who need more structure, some sort of definition behind ritual and all that sort of stuff, this is a great book for that purpose. And then we have this one, Energy Essentials for Witches and Spellcasters. So I got this book. This is like copyrighted 2016, so it's not very old. I got it off of Amazon. It's like super thin. You can see it's not like, it's a quick read. They have great exercises in here to do to understand how to raise energy, how to write spells. This is also, it's like to me a great companion to this one. I bought these at the same time, and I still reference these today, sometimes just for refreshers. But when you're talking about the anatomy of a spell or breaking it down, this is a good one. The author speaks plain, simple language. She doesn't go into too much flowery. She admits she can't rhyme worth a damn. I can't either. So, yeah, so let's get into it. All right. First off, any witch can, and I have my notes here because I wanted to make sure I really covered this well. Any witch can cast a powerful and successful spell. That's what the author here, Maya talks about a lot, or not a lot, in the beginning of the book. She talks about how basically any witch, or basically anybody, let's be honest, can cast a spell. A powerful and successful one. People are doing that now without even realize they're doing it, so it's possible, right? And we all have the ability, the innate ability, to be able to wield magic, to move energy. The key to it is just you really you must believe. You have to believe in your work, have intent, and that's pretty much it. That's where the power comes in. So, per the book, Energy Essentials, a spell can be defined as a desire reinforced with will and fed by energy. So fed by energy. So you can want to have someone fall in love with you, someone, not anyone in particular, right? You can want to be desirable. You can want to be desirable for the purpose of marriage and all these other things, right? You can want these things. But without the energy behind it, you just have your will. And will is powerful, but you need the energy to back it up. That's the fuel for the spell. So I wanted to just make sure I stay on task here because I can go all over the place about this. All right. So one of the things that she suggests that helped me to have more successful spells is that you need to raise energy prior to working a spell. And what does that mean? Raising energy is anything from dancing, singing, chanting. Usually it's something physical, even if it's, like I said, chanting. It's some sort of physical action that you're doing. Clapping, the bell ringing, sometimes people do. Any other type of instruments, like I said, singing, that's raising vibrations, raising energy. Any sort of action like that, yeah, pretty much. I mean, technically exercising, there's all types of stuff you can do as far as to raise energy. The key is once you have the energy raised, understanding what do I do with this energy? And of course, I'm forgetting one. Then there's orgasmic energy, sex magic. That's energy being raised. So what do you do with this energy? So first off, and I'm jumping ahead a little bit, all spells, that's basically what is energy. I talk about moving energy, changing, making change in a universe to move energy in a specific direction for your intent, your outcome, right? So once you raise the energy, you either want to charge something, some inanimate object, a candle, a charm, a necklace, jewelry, whatever. You want to put that energy into that thing. Or you might just raise energy for the purpose of saying a spell. So everything else has already been charged, and you raise energy to do the spell. So when you speak your words, whatever your intention, your petition, whatever, and then once you're done, you can always put that energy back into the ground. That's grounding yourself. Hopefully you know what that means. If not, I can put in the comments. I can do a video on that too, on what grounding is. But to get kind of back on track, spell work is all about energy. So with that in mind, you have to stay aligned with your spell work. So that flies in the face with a lot of people saying, well, they'll do a spell and they'll say, do the spell, walk away, forget about it. Don't forget about it, stay in line. So if my spell was to get a job and I wanted to, I'm unemployed, I'd like to start working, I want to work in a particular field, I'm specific on what I want to do. So what I would do is I would begin looking for a job in that field. I just did spell work, right? So would it make sense to do a spell and not look for a job? No. So that's staying in alignment. If I'm somebody who wants to date and I've been single and I'm ready to settle down and I'm just looking for the right type of guy, what am I going to do? I'm going to go either online dating, I'm going to let people know I'm ready to date, all of that, right? You want to move. You're outgrew your place, it's time for or you have roommates or whatever your situation is and you're ready for something different. You start looking for places. That's being in alignment. What you don't do, which hopefully most of us know better, but sometimes people get misconceptions about magic. They think it's like in the movies or on TV, something just boom, pops, it's done. Not saying that can't happen, but there's a balance here of the mundane and the magical. So you have to at least look. So the universe is aligning for what you want, but you won't even look for the job or look for the place or look for the guy, right? You won't even put yourself out there so he can find you. So that's what a lot of it means in alignment, right? So the other thing is, once you're aligned, so you're looking for the job. Let's go with the job example. So you did the spell, you had your magical intention there, you charged everything, you've raised enough energy, you got that going. So now that the spell is going, you've done it, and you like I said, you're staying in alignment. Would it make sense to hang around people who are unemployed and have no ambition? They're not really trying to do anything. And you might think, what's the harm? I mean, until I get a job, I can still hang with them. You don't want to hang with these people. You don't want to be around people like that because it's you're not in line with that. If you're visioning yourself working and moving forward in your life and having money and having a career, and you're hanging around people who are in complete opposition of that thought process, that's not where they're at, and if that's what they want, that's fine. But you may want to, at least until your spell is working, distance yourself so that you're not with people who are putting their own energy out, which is contrary to yours. Same thing if you're single and you're trying to date for marriage. You've been single for some time or whatever the situation is, you want to get married. You're at the point you're ready. So it's just a matter of finding the guy and getting along with him, and then him wanting to marry you, right? And you wanting to marry him. So if you did a spell, a love spell or attraction spell, something along those lines, the way that you would continue to stay aligned, besides just putting yourself on a date, putting up your dating profile, is, okay, so you go out on a date. Be honest with the people you're talking to, that you're interested in a longer commitment. Be honest. I mean, you don't tell your whole life story and, like you want to get married right now, but just let them know you're dating, eventually with the hopes of hopefully meeting somebody you can, go through this thing called life with, or whatever, however you want to say it. But you kind of want to put that out there so you're in line, because you can weed out people who have no interest in that. And you're just not saying right now, you're just saying hopefully, it can lead to that. If you guys both are on the same page, that's fair to say to someone, to let them know what your intentions are. Hopefully they're sharing their true intentions as well. But that would be kind of staying in alignment with that. On the flip side, if you're having a string of one-night stands, or you're dating guys, but they're not, it's the same guys you keep dating, they're really committed, they just kind of call you at night, and you hook up, like hookup type situations, yeah, you might want to walk away from that, because that's throwing your energy off. You're not aligning with your spell work, with the energy that you raise. You're not in alignment. So what's the universe going to do? Because you're saying and doing is spelling multiple different ways. It doesn't know what you really want. So you might get something, but you might get unintended results. So be careful, be very mindful of that. And I talked about intent, what our intentions are. So I'm just want to kind of break down what I mean when I say your intent. So it's more like, well, what do you really want? And once you figure out what you really want, which sounds simple enough, but sometimes people don't know what they want. They think they know what they want, but when you really get down to it, they don't. They want things because they think they're supposed to want them. Let's go back to the example of marriage. You want to get married because everybody you know is getting married. And if you go to one more wedding and you're a bridesmaid one more freaking time, you really feel kind of annoyed. Like you don't want to always be a bridesmaid, right? So you want your day. You want your shower, your bridal shower, and your, moment in the sun to shine as well. I totally listen, I understand. So if that's why you want to get married, otherwise everything else is fine. You're healthy mentally, your lifestyle's stable. Let's say you're not actually dating anybody. You haven't dated for a bit, but you otherwise you're fine. But you're dating not because you're thinking about the marriage and all that. You're kind of looking at someone else's life and their party, and you would like your opportunity for that. Throw a birthday party. It's less expensive and it's less work. No, seriously, that your intent should be coming from a place that's true. That's not true. That's superficial. So would the spell work? Possibly, but I would suggest you not bother with that level of energy and, bringing something into your life that you really don't even want. You only want it because somebody else, if you want something because somebody else has it, no, rethink it. And then there's the question of, well, why don't I have it already? And the reason you should ask, why don't I have this thing that I need or I'm saying I want to do this spell for, why don't I have it already? So let's talk about that. So if you're looking for a promotion or job opportunities and things like that, who's to say you don't already have it already? Maybe you're not paying attention. Maybe you're not putting yourself out there, being more social, dealing with people, the right people at work, so that you're recognized. So the opportunity is there. You're just not grasping it. If we go back to the wanting to meet somebody and with the hopes of getting married or something like that, you might be in a profession or on your way to work or whatever. You're walking by eligible men all the time, but you have in your head, I have to do it this way, that you're not realizing opportunities are right there. You're just ignoring these guys as you walk. You won't make any kind of contact or anything like that. And there's a lot of women who do that, by the way. They're on their way to work. They focus tunnel vision, and they're like, oh, nobody ever approaches me. Well, you have a, dead serious look on your face as you're walking, which, hey, no judgment. I do that sometimes myself. But if I'm in the business or I'm in a situation where I want to meet somebody, it's something you kind of got to walk around in that headspace. Be a little bit more friendly, a little bit more open. I mean, obviously, don't be a lamb to slaughter, so don't walk around, oblivious to reality and what's going on in dangerous situations, but do present yourself in a way where you're a little bit more open and approachable. So do you have maybe you already have what you're wanting, but you don't recognize it, or the opportunity. And then the other question you want to ask is, how can magic help get what I want or need? So how is it going to help? And we're usually told not to question the how. Where's it coming from? How's it going to happen? But this is something that you're going to do before you even do a spell. This is when you're thinking about it. These are just questions you want to ask yourself, especially for things like weight loss or buying a house, things like that. How is magic going to help me? And just start playing around with ideas. One, it'll help you as far as the type of spell that you want to do, especially if it's for a tangible item like a house or a new car or something like that. So you want to start to think about, how is this magic going to get me what I want? not why, but like, how can it help? I'm sorry, the question was, how can it help get me what I want? Um, so it might be something where you don't have the best of credit and you don't have a lot of money to put down, but you need a car. So I have seen people with successful spells do that. So what you do is you would do your spell. You might bring something. I would probably bring some sort of amulet, some sort of charm or something like that, right? Or a gree bag or something like that, right? Bring that with me to the car dealership. It's already been spelled to make it so that not so much, I mean, because what's real is real. Your credit score is real. The lack of money you have is not real. But it's possible you can do a certain type of magic to make them more forgiving. So you would want to go to a dealer who might be more open to that. Honestly, most of the car dealerships are, even the big ones. Um, they'll sell almost anybody a car and finance just about anybody. But anyway, the point is you would want to go in with the intention of them saying yes no matter what. Now, caveat, if you don't have great credit, you don't have much money down, you're going to go into that car upside down, meaning you're going to owe more than what that car is worth. So did your spell work? Yes. Are you saddled with debt that is going to feel like it's impossible to get from under? Yeah, you are. But that's not what you asked for. You just wanted to get the car, right? So I wanted to get back to energy, and I'm just kind of, sorry if I'm jumping around, but I want to get back to that. So I'm talking about intention. So you know the intent, why you want to do this, how you think it might come up. These are just things to kind of think before you even started. So now let's talk about as far as energy. The quote I took out of that book was, spells are just words that are infused with energy and reinforced by the will. I love that quote. Spells are just words that are infused with energy and reinforced by the will. So it's really all about, like I said, your energy. Not just intent, your energy, what you're putting into it. And that's during the spell, before the spell, during the spell, and after the spell. So the author, Maya Ohm, talks about start, as far as with your energy, raising energy or thinking about the spell in the beginning, begin by understanding the energy around your issue or your goal. So you're going to want to be open to sensing energy. So what is the energy? So if I'm going to pick like the top things, having financial difficulties. So the energy that you're probably admitting yourself is, desperation probably, anxiety, panic, all that sort of stuff. Let's say something's due. If you don't pay, they don't cut it off, that type of thing, right? Or they're going to take it away from you, kick you out, whatever the situation is. Desperation, anxiety, lots of anxiety. So learning to sense that energy is helpful because you can shift that energy into something else, okay? So we're not going to say, okay, now be calm and don't have anxiety. No, you're on a 10 right now. We're going to take that 10 and we're going to divert it and direct it into a different pipe. Not the anxiety one. We're going to go somewhere else with this because we want to do the spell, but we don't want to do it from the energy of panic. So directing energy. So directing energy is sort of like, for lack of better words, well, here's one example. So you are feeling panicked, you're in this headspace where you're freaking out, you don't know how these things are going to get paid, you can't quite figure it out, but you're doing a spell because it's time for magic. You feel like you've exhausted the mundane avenues, it's time for magic. So this is your headspace right now, panic, all right? So what I would suggest in that situation, what I would do is I'm going to get up out my chair or get off the couch, whatever I'm on, where I'm constantly just running the numbers, thinking. I'm going to get up. I'm going to move around, shake my hands, clap my hands very loud, very loud. Move, jump up and down, move my body some kind of crazy way, dance a little bit if I can, whatever it is, I'm going to move and I'm going to build up some more energy. So I'm taking that nervous energy and I'm going to build on it. And when I get to the point where it's like, whew, you're breathing a little heavier, get to that point, I'm going to take a candle, green candle, money, because I'm working on a money spell. That's where I'm going to go with this, right? So I'm going to take that energy, and I get it up, and all I'm thinking is, and as I'm moving, I'm just like, money, money, money. I'm going to get money. I'm going to get money. The money's coming. The money's coming. The money, money, money. Just repeat these words over and over again like it's a chant. Then I would put my hands around that candle, and I'm going to deep breathe, and I'm going to just picture all that energy, all of that I just raised, and it's going into that candle, and I'm going to see it going down, through my body, from my toes on up, all the way up through my arms, through my hands, and out to my fingertips, and it's going into that candle. And until I feel like my breath is steady and all the energy has left me, once I feel that, I lift my hands off the candle. It's in that candle. I'm lighting that candle, and that's going out into the universe. And at that point, I'm going to say whatever I need to say to solidify, the rest of my intention. If you want to make a rhyme, money, money, come to me, something like that. Whatever it is, you can continue your chant. And at that point, what I like to do is see myself, not so much how I'm getting the money. At that point, we're not doing the how, just having it, and still steady breathing, calming myself at this stage of the game. And I'm just letting my mind go as that candle burns. It's good sometimes at that point to kind of look into the flame and see if you can see anything, any kind of validation or confirmation of what you're working. Sometimes you can see things, especially if you kind of just let yourself go. You might see images, letters, numbers, all types of stuff. So, which can be helpful as a clue or hint or symbol to what's to come as far as the spell being successful. Again, the author, Maya, from this book here, Maya Om, she raises a point about a good spell has 3 parts. It's a clearly stated goal. It has a clearly stated goal, a sympathetic link between the mundane and magical, and then a way of raising energy that links the mundane and magical. So this is what I was just talking about, the raising energy, right? So the dancing around, the moving. I just said I had nervous energy. I got anxiety about not being able to pay this bill. So I took that, the mundane, and I took it a step further with the jumping around, dancing around, clapping of the hands, all of that. And once I got that ready, I used the magical part and I put it in that candle. So I merged the mundane and the magical. A clearly stated goal or your intent is why you're asking those questions that I talked about in the beginning. The thing of like, what do you want? So what do you really want? Be careful, because some of us are out here doing spells for stuff we really don't want or need. And we're going off of what we think we want based on what somebody told you, what you're seeing, somebody else's life and all that other stuff, right? So be careful. The other thing as far as spells is just being mindful of moon phases. I talked about this, I think, in my How to Be a Good Witch video. You don't have to be that granular about astrological days and all that, the colors and all that. It's helpful. It's worth the effort. So I would say it's worth it, but you don't have to. But what I would, if I was going to pay attention to anything outside of the days of the week of when I was doing a spell, right, I would say the moon phase. If you can help it. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes stuff has to get done. That's okay. But if it's possible, try to stay in, do certain spells at certain times of the moon, It can be more effective. That's why I say that. And finally, I'm just going to sort of break down what you need to write a spell after I take this sip. I've been thinking about this wine all day. So, a simple spell. You're going to have your intent. So if you're, let's say you got your journal out, your grimoire, your book of shadows. So the first thing you're going to do, is put your date, because you want to know when you did the spell. You're going to write your intent. And your intent will be something like, if it's a simple spell, to get a promotion, to, to meet a man who, to, meet someone, who is marriage minded, like myself, and, the rest of what you want to say about that, to buy a new car, or to have a new car, because, what if you don't have to buy it? What if you want it? So something like that, right? That's your intent. And you want to build on that. So that's just the gist of it. But, try to embellish a little bit on it, if you can, as far as like, a promotion at my job. I feel, you just want to add a little bit detail, not too much, but something like, let me be clear. So you would say something like, my intent is to get a promotion to the such and such position. My intention is to have this promotion happen within the next 30 to 60 days or whatever. So that's what I mean about specific, okay? It's okay to do timelines. The promotion is only going to be open for a certain period of time. So yeah, you want to get the magic going. The other thing is you want to write down items needed. Oh, fair enough. So what do you need? Some spells you just might need the words, a quiet place, and maybe a candle. Or you might want more, that's fine. Word to the wise. You don't need to have multiple candles burning for one purpose. If you're doing money spells and you have like 5 money candles going at the same time, that's okay. It's overkill, and not in a good way. You're not hurting anything, but your intention, the energy you're raising, all that, put all that into that one candle. Now, if you're saying I want money and I want a promotion, then I can understand you using these different candles. It would have to have a different purpose. Now, if they were all going towards something to do about money, I understand. But if it's just a money spell, you want a certain amount of money. It is so loud, these cars. Anyway, if you want a certain amount of money for whatever purpose, you're looking to fill in the gaps, or I have a better one for you. You need money now, but you want to continue to get an extra stream of income. That's a good time to have more than one candle going. That's different, because you're asking about money, but 2 different ways. I can understand that, but just the one money spell, you only need 1 candle. So that's items needed. The next is the method of raising energy. Now, in this book, she talks about not just different ways, but how to raise additional energy, like reaching into the earth. So we talk about grounding yourself. If you're familiar, if you can go outside somewhere and, barefoot at least. If you can't get all the way on the ground, at least be barefoot, your feet touch the ground. And you just picture that energy coming up. For some people, you just raise that energy for the purpose of kind of aligning yourself. And then you release and it goes back into the ground. You can do that, but before doing a spell, that's helpful also. Then you can go about another way of raising energy. Like I said, clapping your hands, dancing, singing, all those are great ways of raising energy. There's all different types of ways, whatever you're gonna feel comfortable doing. But you wanna put down your method of raising energy, because it matters, it does matter. And then finally, when do you cast the spell? That goes back to the concept of, from an astrological point of view, or the days of the week, the time of day. Different astrological events happen at certain times of the day, the morning, the night, and so forth. So was it sunrise? Was it sunset? Was it the middle of the day? Depending on the type of spells you're doing, that may matter. I think for me, if I'm doing more mysterious types of magic, where I'm really wanting to just get this energy going. I don't care how it gets going, but I'm asking for like miracle level stuff here. I like to do that at night. I like to me, because it's like you're creating. And at night, that's a perfect time to do it when it's dark, because everything creation was made in the dark. So I have that mindset. That's a great time. Health spells, weight loss spells, maybe even love spells. More so in the daytime when it's nice, bright, and sunny. If I'm doing a desire, attraction, passion type spell, that sort of stuff, again, that's at night. So that's how I think. So that's pretty much just sort of breaking down. Hopefully you could follow along with what I was saying about, just breaking down spell work. So we're down to, just a few things really. Everything else is sort of dressing. The key is keeping your intent and having that energy raised. And then staying in alignment afterwards. So if you're putting that energy out there, stay in alignment. It's the concept of law of attraction and manifesting things into your life. So it's really honestly the same thing. It is. But hopefully you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Again, I'm Mika. This is Leave Taken. If you really did enjoy it, go ahead and like the video. And if you really enjoyed it, go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you. Bye.